You hear this? I bought a new mic. I bought a new microphone. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Yeah, I always wanted to be a Foley artist when I was younger, but never managed. So, okay, you're probably watching this video because you're interested in Capture One, or you're working with Lightroom and you want to switch to Capture One. So without further ado, let's get started. Let go. Three main reasons why I use Capture One. First one is image quality. I used to work with Lightroom, like most of us, because it's the industry standard, everybody uses it, so why would I doubt it? But after a couple of years I noticed that the program was getting slower, and maybe it's just my personal experience, but I thought that with every update it was going the wrong way. When I was moving sliders, it had a little bit of delay, and that was my main reason to check for alternatives. Now, Capture One was on the market for quite a while already. I heard positive stories about it, so decided to give it a go. And since I used the trial, I never went back. The image quality, when I take my raw images from my camera, I'm using the Sony A7 Mark III. I import them into Lightroom, and I do the same with Capture One. I do some tweaks and then I export the picture. I think that the image quality for the Capture One export is better. I think you can see it in the saturation. It's not like that the picture is more saturated, but it's richer, I guess. Clarity, it's a bit sharper. So for me it felt like an upgrade for my camera. And I think in the end, interface, workability, the way you use a program is very important, but in the end the image quality is what we're all aiming for. So that was and still is my main reason to use this software. The second one is workflow. And what I said already, when I take a slider, move it up and down, it works immediately. The export or the process recipes are really easy. So let's say I did a shoot, client work, we shot a bunch of pictures, I made some tweaks and I want to export them, but I want to export them in two file sizes. The biggest one in the highest quality, but I also want to do a smaller one which I can send by email, for instance. You can do that at once. You just click two process recipes. You can create your own, but it comes with a variety of process recipes already. One click, that's it. And the third reason is layer masks. In Lightroom, you are not able to use layer masks, as far as I know. The only thing I can think of is an automatic mask, which does not really suit the job for me, because I want to make adjustment layers like we do in Photoshop, a dodge and burn, maybe a color gradient, the retouching, what we do is all on separate layers. So afterwards you can adjust the opacity, you can make changes on and on. It's non-destructive. And especially for client work, that is really important, because when I make fine art prints or I do my own free work, then I do the initial editing in Capture One, export it to Photoshop, and then do all of the rest. But with client work, you simply don't have the time. It's not necessary either, so I want to have one piece of software where I can do everything. Okay, let's give you some examples. Choose new filled adjustment layer. We call this one dodge, and we make another one filled adjustment layer, and we call it burn. Now what can we do? We can boost the exposure, bring it up completely. Sometimes I do it, but normally I try not to. I'm using the brightness. And why? Because brightness is just boosting the midtones. So not your shadows, not your highlights, just the midtones. And that's what I'm looking for. I think for this picture, this is enough. Right click, clear mask. So now I'm still lifting the exposure. That's keeping intact, but the mask is gone. I deleted the mask. Switch to the burn layer. I'm doing the same, but now I'm lowering the brightness. Right click, clear mask. So now I've got two separate layers, one dodging and one for burning. Let's say we start with burn. I'm using a Wacom tablet, by the way, and I would really advise you to use a tablet if you're not using one yet. I'm just painting over the parts which I want to darken. Now I'm doing it fast now because of this video, but you get the idea. A little bit over here, a little bit over there, like this. Okay, maybe this part, this part, this part, this. Switching to dodge. Now what I want to do is brighten the eyes a little bit. I use strobes when making this picture, so she's actually really bright. It doesn't need a lot, but I think this is nice. And the outside of the eye as well. Okay, go back to burn. Maybe darken this a little bit over here. Normally I would take some more time, but for this video we make it short. Okay, so we did some dodging and burning. We can switch the layers on and off, before and after, before and after, and the same for the dodge layer. Before and after, you can really see it in Dami's eyes. You see? Now, if we think that we overdid it, and we did, we can lower the opacity for each individual layer. So we can take down the burn, take down the dodge as well. And that's really handy. You simply cannot do that with Lightroom. Same for color grade. I choose new filled adjustment layer. Color grade, good to keep organized. I like the advanced color editor. The color picker, you just pick a color. For instance, this green leaf. And the advanced color editor exactly shows you where in the spectrum this green point is. Now if I click view selected color range, you can see which areas I've selected. So everything in gray is not selected, the rest is. And now I can really easily change the hue, make it warmer, maybe crank up the saturation a bit, make it lighter or darker, just as I want. And click off this again. I can do the same with her coat. Let's say the red, I want to crank up the saturation a bit, way too much of course, but anyway. So on, so on. And because it's all on a separate layer, I can lower the opacity. See? 100%, 0%. Easy as that. Okay. Color balance. I'll like to bring the shadows down a little bit. Make it purple, magenta-ish. And maybe lift the midtones to a bit of orange. I think the highlights, I'll keep it as they are. Okay. Decrease the highlights a bit. A little bit of a contrast, a little bit of sharpening. I always check my levels, my curves. I think I can bring the black point in slightly and the white point as well. Now, before and after, before and after. Really fast, really easy. Let's say I want to copy these adjustments, right top corner, copy, and we take another image. I did this already, and apply. So it's really fast, really easy, and it works great in my opinion. Okay, to summarize, Capture One, why do I like it? First reason, image quality, by far the most important for us photographers. I'm not saying that it's technically better or there is a diff. I'm not a tech guy, but this is just my humble opinion. I'm not paid by Capture One. This is not sponsored at all. It's just what I think is best. The second one is workflow. When you move a slider, it works immediately. Same for the tethered part. It's guaranteed. It's working really well. It's safe. It's fast. And the third part is the layer masks. I'm using it every day. It's really speeding up your workflow for client work, for things like that. You need that. You want to have the ability to adjust certain parts of your image. So that's it. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Thanks.